Hello, I'm here to talk about something that has been being asked and something that I think people actually shouldn't do. And that is one simple thing: investing in very expensive stickers. This is Cato 2014, 15, Titan Hollows, Dig Hollows, anything from that era. I'm not talking about more recent stickers that have been pumped maybe or whatever. I'm not as into that side of the market. Um, but in terms of analyzing the value that you could potentially get out of investing in old expensive stickers is what I'm going to be talking about today. And we can look through that in a very easy way, and that is going to be analyzing expected value. No problem. I know it's very high budget with the paint still. Um, we're going to be analyzing expected value for stickers, and we're going to be simplifying it into things that we think will affect the price, and do we think it's plus EV or minus EV. Um, and that's how we'll go about it. Now, just for some context, if you look up a Titan Hollow, it's going to say whatever this absurd price is, 140, 150,000. This is bullshit. You always go to buff, and you check last sales. The last two sales, one happened last week for about a little under 70,000. So that's going to be your reference price for rare stuff like this. You can't actually rely on Western markets who have unbelievably low liquidity that can't actually properly price something as rare as an item like this. Um, Even these capsules, which are in effect more common than a singular Titan Hollow, um, are going to be a bit inflated on these markets. On float, let's see, it says 30,000. Last one sold for 20, like 10k, fucking 10k discount. So we don't actually know what the actual liquid price of these are. Again, buff will be the best place for you to be able to check that. But back to our high quality analysis. We're gonna be going through each segment that I think is the most important when trying to analyze an investment specifically in Counter Strike. Before we've talked about how to analyze CS as a whole in terms of the fundamentals of trading assets, but this one we're specifically looking at the motivations of the market in Counter Strike. Now, what's the most important actor in terms of controlling the price of items in Counter Strike? It's 100% Valve. So, what are Valve's motivations in managing the price of stickers? 100% they want to bring them down. So Valve is minus EV. Why? Why is it 100% that they want to bring them down? It is because they do not receive benefit from stickers being high price. Now, you saw this already with knives, and people say this with knives now, but the thing about knives, especially high tier gems and the such, is Valve actually benefits from high tier gems being expensive because they're a chase item. It makes people want to buy coverts at a higher price on the Steam market because they think they're gonna hit the butterfly emerald or the kimono crimson max red or the factory new hedge maze gloves. That's why they will keep doing trade ups, and that's why there's still going to be thousands of transactions of coverts every single day on the Steam community market, and Valve is going to rake in money like you've never seen in your life through the 15% or whatever it is transaction fee that they hold in the Steam community market. Valve benefits greatly from coverts, knives and gloves being as expensive as they are, especially the chase items. Now, this does not hold the same for stickers. If Titan Hollows, Dig Hollows, all these things, the capsules are tens of thousands of dollars, they will never transact on the Steam market for better or worse. And you will never see Valve benefit from the value that these stickers are holding. And so their primary motivation to bring down the price of these stickers so that they can benefit from them exists. Now, are they going to do it? I honestly I don't think so. Because these are such valuable historic pieces of the game that I doubt Valve would actually like murder them to the point where they would be accessible on Steam Market. But the fact that it's a possibility and it's a motivating benefit for them is minus EV, right? Like, what's the chance I think this is going to happen? Maybe 5, 10, and that's being generous. But the fact is, it's a 5 to 10% chance that your investment, if you invest 70K into a Titan Hollow, or like a Reason Hollow, then there's like a 5 to 10% chance that your investment just completely gets like nuked. And so I don't like that. That's not a risk that I want to take. I know it can happen with like the knives or the coverts that I bought, but I think the percentage that Valve nukes them at this point is like less than 1%. And so the first thing obviously is Valve, and that's the most important thing. You have to manage how what you think the risk is when in terms of Valve nuking your investment. Now, next, obviously this is the most intuitive one, I guess, and that's market sentiment. What is the sentiment surrounding these stickers? Now, the non-intuitive part about this actually is the aspect of fear. Valve just released their sticker dangling thing where you don't actually have to apply it to your gun. And that shook people up a little bit. But generally, sales for rare stickers stayed somewhat the same. And you have to realize fear is not bad if you think the fear is unwarranted. That means fear is good for you. For example, during the when I bought the knives or when I bought the coverts, I bought them at max fear. That means people are selling because they're afraid and they want to sell fast and they will sell for a lower price. And that's the opportunity for you to buy. You, as a trading philosophy, if you're buying assets, if you want to buy them at the cheapest possible, you buy when the market is the most afraid and you think that fear is unjustified, or it could be justified but they're being too fearful. And that was what happened when I bought originally. Now, market sentiment right now is a bit I'm not sure. Sticker prices are not necessarily nosediving. They might be slightly going down as an entirety, but we want to look at, is it fearful now and will it recover in the future? I actually think kind of yes. I think generally market sentiment is slightly positive. Slightly positive in terms of EV. So I think we're going to give market sentiment a slight edge here in terms of expected value. And so I think these stickers, if there are no external factors that attack them, should increase in price slowly over time. And I mean like slowly over time. Like you're treating this like fucking stock market ass. Like you put your money in a S&P 500 and you're just gonna wait for it to like slowly go up over time. That's the most accurate way I think you can explain this. However, this S&P 500 has a 5%, 10% chance of going to zero. Not going to zero, but like losing 90% of its value, which the actual S&P for the more or less doesn't have at the current moment. And so we have a big negative EV with Valve's motivation. We have a slight positive EV with the market sentiment. And now we have to talk about our third um, option here. Now, our third option is opportunity cost. Now, what exactly do I mean by opportunity cost? It's the amount of money that you are putting in for what kind of gain. So, let's say I have $1 million and I can put $1 million into a high yield savings account that's going to give me 4% average per year. Now, I could just do that and get 4% every year for free, but I decide to take an investment for my entire $1 million, and over 5 years, it returns to me 2.5%. Now, yeah, that I mean that's money, right? Like we're not down, and we made money on the investment, but we are losing potential free money. We took risk to not actually make any more money than if we just did it for free and 100% risk free. Now, that's what I'm going to be talking about here. The biggest problem I have with Titan, not even Titan, I don't know why I keep saying Titan. I think it's because it's like the face of stickers or whatever, but stickers in general, especially older, more valuable ones, is the opportunity cost is too high. They're too expensive for such a risky gambit that won't pay as much as you would like it to pay. So 100% the opportunity cost is negative in terms of the expected value. I think that the increase is too slow. There's too high of a risk, and you just don't have enough upside to justify the downside. In the most simple way to put it, that's just how I see it. Um, and so if I were to give Titan Hollow a percentage plus minus, I would say the plus is not there. And I would say the minus is like 10% maybe. It's not bad, but it's actually pretty bad. Like if you go to the casino, you're like -5 to -1% expected value when you're at the casino. And so personally, I don't think if you have a lot of like money and you want to invest in CS skins, it's not a great place to start. I think coverts are better. I think sniping high tier items from people trying to get out is better. I think stickers are dangerous. I think there's a motivation from Valve to lower their price, to increase supply maybe. And I think of all things that you could choose to invest in the CS market, it might be one of the worst. And it's like very expensive as well. Most of them are very expensive as well. So this is not financial advice, but this is my opinion on stickers. I had some people ask me, should I buy stickers? Should I spend $25,000 on stickers? Nah. Like realistically, nah. If you're trying to be smart, if you want to gamble, then yeah, sure. But or if you like the sticker, obviously you should. But yeah, no, I think it's not great. So thank you for watching. Um, this has been my opinion. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps the channel a lot. And goodbye.